All right, welcome to the Evening News. I'm your host for tonight, Catboy Kunhua. In the news, today marks the 70th anniversary of the creation of the child car seat. As you can see here in the prototype of the seat, the early models were staged to be up high to guarantee that your baby will be flung through the windshield upon impact. Microsoft claims that they found new evidence that Russia is trying to hack U.S. politics. The evidence was actually discovered last year, and when Microsoft was asked why didn't they tell anyone sooner, they said they've been trying for months, but no one believed them because the person who made the phone calls had an East Indian accent. Hello, this is Microsoft. Your computer has been hacked. Oh, sure it has. Right. Yeah. Queen Elizabeth's physician, Dr. Peter Fisher, died in a crash with a truck last week while the doctor was cycling to work. Dr. Fisher was the Queen's leading homeopathic physician, who reportedly could have survived his injuries, but insisted on being treated at a homeopathic facility where they found out that healing crystals and diluted water have bugger-all effect on massive internal bleeding and renal failure.
Oh, Lord.
Recent polling on the internet has revealed that political trolling is losing its effectiveness as people have become desensitized to the extreme comments coming from Trump supporters. One well-known political affiliate said, "We used to check the comments just to see how bad the train wreck gets, but over time we figured there's nothing to learn from this. It's kind of like looking into the toilet right after you've taken a huge shit. What did you expect to see?" The latest political trend regarding NAFTA, Donald Trump is not even talking to Canada, and Canadians are pretty cool with that. We're good. Yeah. As reported by CBC News, Canadian exports hit an all-time high in August despite the trade war with the United States. In recent months, Canada has been forced to diversify its trade by exporting to other countries involved in a trade war with Donald Trump. That would be the rest of the entire planet. For the first time in history, last week, a president has used his power of office to punish members of the intelligence community who have criticized him openly. Specifically, former CIA Director John Brennan. Presidential spokesperson Sarah Huckabee read the president's statement about Brennan from the official White House lying purge, announcing Trump's action to revoke the former CIA director's security clearance. This means that Brennan cannot read classified intelligence. Now, the only place Brennan could read about threats to the United States is through Donald Trump's Twitter feed. The official reason given for Trump revoking Brennan's clearance was, in quotations, he leveraged his status to make a series of unfounded and outrageous allegations, wild outbursts on the internet. I would say this is a case
about that.
Yeah, I would say this is a case of the pot calling the kettle black, but according to Omarosa, there may be tapes of the pot calling the kettle something much worse than that. In a new book called The House of Trump, House of Putin, The Untold Story of Donald Trump and the Russian Mafia, veteran journalist Craig Unger claims that Donald Trump is a Russian asset owned by the Mafia. This comes as a tremendous shock that someone who owns and runs casinos in Atlantic City, runs several businesses that are the type well known to launder money for decades, runs side businesses of phony business schools and fake charities, goes bankrupt several times and is never broke, is actually connected to organized crime.
Hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah, hard to believe. Yes. A couple of days ago, in an interview on NBC's Meet the Press, is he former mayor? Former Mayor Giuliani?
No,
Yeah.
yes.
Former Mayor Rudolph Giuliani told Chuck Todd that truth is not truth.
Yeah.
Giuliani was trying to explain that the facts of the Russia probe are just someone's version of what happened. Todd responded with, "Truth is truth," to which Giuliani said, "Truth isn't truth," to which Chuck Todd right away predicted that Giuliani said will probably become an internet meme. Of course, he was right about that. But also very quickly became a T-shirt that you could buy on Etsy for $25.
Hey, that's it.
Oh.
A few observers noted that this statement may mean that Giuliani has entered his Dadaism phase of interpreting the law. Dadaism, of course, is a rejection of logic and reason. This will be followed by the surreal interpretations of the law, abstract interpretations of the law, which is usually followed by Alzheimer's and then sudden death. Despite Giuliani's attempts to interpret the facts in a favorable manner, truth isn't truth. Treason, unfortunately, is still treason. Prison is still prison, and Mueller is still doing his job. Speaking of Mueller still doing his job, Donald Trump's former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, has been found guilty on 8 counts of financial crimes. Jurors were not able to reach a verdict on 10 charges, and Judge T.S. Ellis declared a mistrial on the remaining charges. Trump has already publicly commented to MSNBC News that Manafort's guilty verdict has nothing to do with Russia collusion. Like the fact that's all Manafort's and anyway. Manafort was found guilty of 5 tax fraud charges, 1 charge of hiding foreign bank accounts, and 2 counts of bank fraud. He faces a maximum of 80 years in prison. This is a huge victory for the Mueller prosecution team. Following this news, Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, has reached a tentative plea deal with federal prosecutors. One of Mueller's assistants said, to put this in terms that Trump can understand, Cohen is going to flip like a patty in a Burger King fryer. Giuliani already commented on Fox News that pleading guilty is actually pleading innocent, and Cohen pleading guilty obviously exonerates Trump.
Logic.
I would like to finish up with, if you think you're having a bad day today, try to imagine this. Try to imagine you're President of the United States. You actually deport a real Nazi from your country, and it's still your worst day in office so far. That's the way you wish it wasn't. I'm Catboy Kunhua.
Oh.